Today we'll take an example to design the chimney. So the example is design a chimney of height 70 meter and check the stresses in bars. Given that external diameter at top is 4 meter and at base it is 4.8 meter. Shell thickness at top it is 200 mm and at base it is 400 mm. Wind intensity 1.8 kilonewton per meter square. It is throughout constant. Thickness of fire brick lining is 100 mm. Air gap is again 100 mm. Temperature difference is 70 degrees Celsius. Coefficient of thermal expansion which is alpha, this we call test T. This is 11 into 10 to the power minus 6 per degree Celsius. ES is 210 into 10 to the power 3 Newton per mm square. Unit weight of brick lining is 20 kilonewton per meter cube. Use M25 and Fe415. So with the given data, let us draw the section. So actually it is like this. We have a top diameter. The section is like this. So this brick lining, the inner one, and this is concrete shell. And in between there is an air gap. So this one is concrete shell. This one is brick lining, which is 100 thick. Okay, and the thickness of the concrete shell varies. It is at top it is 200 The thickness of the shell at the top is 200 At the bottom it is 400 The diameter at the top is external diameter at the top is 4 meter. So at the top this diameter is 4 meter and the bottom diameter is 4.8 meter. Now the air gap is also air gap is also 100 mm. Okay. Wind load it is constant throughout. Intensity of this wind load is 1.8 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, so you can find the internal diameter also. So the internal diameter of the concrete shell will be 4 meter minus 0.2 and 0.2 is 0.4, so it will be 5 3.6 meter. Same way at the base the internal diameter will be 5.4 4.8 minus 0.4 that is 4. And the height of the chimney is given as 70 meter. Okay. So this height is 70 meter. And write this as 0.2 in meters. This is 0.4 meters. Okay. This is 0.1 meter thick. And this is 0.1 meter. Okay, so all dimensions are in a meter. So this is given to us. So let us design. So first step is the load calculation. and this we will do at base of the section, means at this level. Because there will be more bending moment at the base, you can treat this as a cantilever, vertical cantilever. So maximum moment will be at the base. So stresses will be maximum at the base. Average diameter of shell at top will be, now this is the outer diameter, this is the inner diameter, means external diameter and internal diameter you have. So the average diameter will be average of these two. So 4 plus 3.6 by 2, so that will be 3.8 meter. Similarly, the average diameter of shell at base will be 4, average of these two 4 and 4.8. That will be 4.4. The average thickness of shell, now the thickness at the top is 0.2, thickness at the bottom is 0.4, so it will be 0.2 plus 0.4 by 2, so that will be 0.3 meter. So you can find the weight, therefore the weight of shell will be equal to pi times the average diameter 3.8 plus 4.4 by 2. Now the average diameter at the center will be this. So this is this center. So the average diameter here will be, it will be the average of these two. Average diameter at mid height will be equal to 3.8 plus 4.4 by 2. So that is 4.1. So this is 4.1 meter. That is the average diameter at the mid height. Because it is varying linearly, we'll consider the section at the mid height. So this is 4.1. So pi d into the thickness, this thickness 0.3 into height, and this is multiplied with 25, that is density of concrete. So what we have done, we have multiplied pi into d, that is the perimeter, multiplied by the thickness of the shell, okay, average thickness. So pi d into t and multiply it with h. So that will give you the volume of the shell, multiply by 25. So that will give you the weight of the shell. Okay. So, so this will be, how much is this? 4.5. So this will be 6762 6762.3 kilometer. So this is the weight of the shell. Next, we find the weight of the brick lining. So similarly, we find the diameter of brick lining at mid height. So the diameter at mid height will be equal to means this time we are finding this distance at mid height. What is the diameter of the brick lining? So that will be 4.1, that is the diameter, average diameter of the concrete, minus half the thickness of the concrete at this location, that is 0.3, minus air gap, and minus half the brick thickness. So this will be 4.1 minus 0.3 by 2 minus 0.1, that is air gap, minus 0.1 by 2. Okay. This is half thickness of concrete shell, 0.5 into shell thickness. This is air gap, and this is the brick lining, half brick lining. So you will get the center line of the brick lining at the mid height. So this will be equal to 4.1 minus 0.15 minus 0.1 minus 0.05. So it is 3.8 meter. So the diameter of the brick lining here is 3.8 meter. This is brick lining. Okay, and this is for the shell. Concrete shell. So same way we can find the weight of the brick lining will be equal to pi. Now the diameter is 3.8, so pi d into the thickness of brick lining is 0.1. So we can write here thickness of brick lining at mid height is equal to 0.1. It is constant. Both the brick lining and this, they are constant throughout. These are throughout. Okay. Point 1 thick throughout. Okay. And this 0.1 meter thick throughout. So it is 0.1 meter. So pi d into t into same, it is for 70 meter height, it is provided. So multiply by 20, that is the unit weight of the brick lining which is given in the data. So unit weight of the brick lining is 20 kilonewton per meter cube. So here also we have used this pi d t into h multiply by 20, it is the unit weight of concrete of brick lining. So this will be equal to pi into 3.8 into 0.1 into 70 into 20, that is equal to 171.33 1673 71.3. So the total dead load at the base of the section, at the base section, W will be equal to 6762.3 plus, means this value plus this value 1671.3. So that will be equal to 762.3 plus 1671.3 will be 8433.6 kilonewtons. Okay, so this is the total dead weight W, and you have been given the intensity of wind pressure. Intensity of wind pressure is given as 1.8 kilonewton per meter square, that is given in data. So the effective frontal area, that means the area obstructing wind. Effective frontal area means it is the area obstructing wind. So the area which is obstructing the wind will be this height multiplied by the width. So that will be the width, this 4 meter and 4.8. So this wind, if you see the side view of this, so wind is acting on this much effective area. Is 4 meter or 4 meter. This is 4.8 meter. So the average at mid location will be 4 plus 4.8 by 2. So that is 4.4 meter. So this much area is under wind load. This is the area obstructing the wind load. This is effective frontal area, and if you see it in plan, it is in circular in shape. So wind load is acting wind is acting like this. So because it is in circular in plan, you have to multiply with the coefficient. So the effective frontal area will be 4 plus 4.8 by 2 multiplied by 70, that is this height. This height is 70. So this will be equal to 0.4 into 70, that is 308 meters square. So here the shape factor for circular section is 0.7. Okay, because our h by d this uh, d by h ratio, diameter to height ratio, is 4.4 divided by 70, which is 0.06 less than 0.4. So between 0 to 4.4, the shape factor is 0.7. See, for h by b ratio of this, so it is 0.7. For circular section, for all this, it is 0.7 only. So it is 0.7. It is h by b ratio. H by b, so it is 70 by 4.4, that is 15.9. So for 15.9, 8 and above, it is 0.7 only. Greater than 8, it is 0.7. So in case if you are having different section, instead of circular section, you have to take the corresponding shape factor. So wind load is equal to shape factor multiplied by the wind pressure, intensity of wind pressure, multiplied by the effective frontal area. So that will give you 0.7 into 1.8 into 308, that is 388.08. This is the wind load. Now this wind load is acting at wind load x at half the mid height, that is at 70 by 2 equals to 35 meter from the base. Okay, the resultant of this wind load will be acting at the base. Okay, and the distance of this from the base is 35. This is window. So you can find the moment at the base. Therefore, moment due to wind load at the base will be equal to 388.08 multiplied by 35, because this is m moment. So this will be equal to 1358 13582.8 km/meter. So you can find the eccentricity E is equal to moment by the dead load. So the moment due to wind load is 1358.8 divided by this weight, total weight 8433.6, 8433.6. So this will give you an eccentricity of 1.610 meter, that is 1610 mm. Okay. Now next step is to find the reinforcement, and next step is reinforcement and find the neutral axis. Reinforcement and position of neutral axis. So the position of neutral axis is found by trial and error from the equation we have derived in earlier lectures. So let us assume 1% vertical reinforcement. Therefore, at base section, the reinforcement required will be equal to 1 divided by 100, that is 1%, into the area at the base section. So area at the base section will be 5. The diameter of the concrete shell at the base is 4.4. Average diameter is 4.4. Okay. This average diameter at the base is 4.4. Multiply by 4.4 into thickness of the concrete. at the base. The thickness of the concrete at base is 0.4. Okay. And so this will give you in meter square reinforcement. Multiply it with 10 to the power 6. You will get it in mm square. Or simply you can take these dimensions in mm, so you will get it in square. So this will give you 5 into 4400 into 400. So the area to be provided is 55292 square. Okay. So let us provide 12 bar diameter. Let us provide 25 bar. Let us provide 25 bar. So the number of bars to be provided will be equal to 55292 divided by the area of each 25 mm bar, that is 5 by 4 into 25 square. You get this around 112.6, or let us say 113 numbers are required. So provide 115 numbers. Let us provide 115 numbers of 525 mm bars. So this will give you AS equals to 115 into 5 by 4 into 25 square. That is, area of steel provided is 56450 mm square. Now we find the equivalent thickness of the steel. Equivalent thickness of steel ring. Equivalent thickness of steel ring, that is TS. It will be equal to the area provided, that is AS, divided by 5 times the diameter. 5 times the diameter. So area provided 56450 divided by 5 into 4400. So you will get an equivalent ring of the area of the steel provided. This divided by 4400. So it is around 4 mm. Okay. So TS is 4 mm. Now here, so here we have TS is 4 mm. TC, that is thickness of the concrete section at the base, is 400 mm. Then the modular ratio is given by 280 by 3 sigma CBC, and for M25 grade sigma CBC is equals to 8.5 Newton per mm square. and for FE 415 sigma ST is 230 Newton per mm square. So this will give you 280 by 3 into 8.5, which is around 10.98. So let us say 11. So the modular ratio here is 11. Then you require the radius. So radius will be diameter by 2. Diameter is at the base is 4400 by 2. So that is 2200 mm. Okay. And the eccentricity is already you have from our earlier calculation. This is the eccentricity 1610 mm. Now from the theory class uh, we have seen, we know that eccentricity E is equal to R times Tc minus Ts into bracket sine 2 alpha by 4 plus pi minus alpha by 2 in plus modular ratio times Ts by 2 into pi, okay, whole divided by Tc minus Ts into sin alpha plus pi minus alpha cos alpha plus m Ts times pi times cos alpha. Okay, this expression we have derived in our earlier class. If you remember, this is the expression. E is equals to m by w, where m is the moment and w is the weight. So the same expression we are using here. Now here we know this value E, we know R, we know Tc, Ts, and we know modular ratio. Okay, others are constant. So now here the unknown is alpha. So by trial and error you substitute the value of alpha so that you get left hand side equals to right hand side. So here let us first let us try. Let us try alpha equals to 70 degree. So 70 degree means in radian alpha is equals to 70 by pi by 180, that will be 1.222 radian. Okay, this is in radian. Now then you find the eccentricity using this. So eccentricity will be 2200 multiplied by Tc is 400 minus 4 sine 2 into 70 whole divided by 4 plus pi minus, now here you have to substitute the value in radian, minus 1.222, okay, divided by 2 plus modular ratio is 11 multiplied by Ts is 4 divided by 2 into pi. Okay, this whole term is divided by 400 minus 4 into sine 70 plus pi minus 1.222 into cos 70 plus 11 into 4 into pi into cos 70. So if you calculate this, it will be around 1660.1 mm. Now, but it is not equal to 1610 mm. Okay, this is 1610. Actual E is 1610. So this is not equal to E equals to 1610 mm. So we have to try another value. So let us try alpha equals to 68 degree. So by trial and error, you have to substitute the value of alpha so that the left hand side, which is equal to this 1160, matches with this calculated one. Okay. So, and if you are using Excel, then you can use goalseek command uh, by varying the value of alpha, which is input, so that it reaches the target value of this E is equals to 1610. This calculated value reaches the target value of 1610. So this will be 68 into pi by 180, that is 1.187 radian. So again, if you calculate E, it will be 2200 multiplied by 400 minus 4 into sine 2 into 68. Simply you have to formulate this in Calc, and by trial and error you change the value of alpha, and the calculated value, if equals nearby this value, then you can use that value of alpha. Plus 1 oh, this will be 1.187, this value, into 4 divided by 2 into pi, this whole divided by 400 minus 4 sine 68 plus pi minus 1.187 cos 68 plus 11 into 4 into pi into cos 68. Okay, now if you calculate this value, will be 1620. Again, this is not equal to 1610. So you try with another value. It is close to this. So let us try alpha equals to 67 degree, and you will find that E is equal to 1610. Okay, that you can try, and once you have the value of alpha, you can find W, that is you can find sigma C, that is stress in concrete, using the expression for W. If you remember this expression for W, this is the expression for W. which is this one, 2r sigma c. So now in this expression we know the value of r, we know alpha, we know tc, ts, okay, and modular ratio. So you can find this sigma c, so from this expression. And once you know the sigma c, you can find the uh, stress in steel. So that we'll do in next class. So let's stop here and we'll continue this example in the next class. If you have any doubt, we can discuss now.